What's going on, guys? Victor here from Dexter Outdoors, and in today's video I'm going to show you how to fillet a black drum, which is this really cool looking fish right here. And in today's fillet video we're going to be using this 8-inch Dexter fillet coated knife. Another thing I gotta mention, black drum have really thick, big, nasty scales. First thing we're going to do, tip of my knife over here by the head. We're going to start with this side. Just gonna make a little incision there, and we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna outline our fish from the head down to the tail, which is going along the backbone. Just like you would do with any other fish, all the way down to the tail, just like that. And now, basically, always have one hand on the knife, one hand used to help you separate the fillet from the bone. So as I was saying, one hand doing that and one hand doing that. And now we always want to make contact with the fish's bones. That way we're making sure we get all of the meat. Now, once I basically get to the other side and I kind of have this tail section off, what I'm going to do is flip them like this. I'm going to go from the head and down around this pec fin. Now this is where a lot of people will say, that's not how you do a black drum. But I'm going to show you a way to go over the rib cage rather than through it. So we got to go through these pin bones right here, and these guys are tricky. And this is where a lot of people will say black drum are difficult to fillet because they'll try to go through the rib cage rather than over it. So we're just going to go right over that rib cage. And you see, really is not that hard. So that's the fillet you're left with. Now, had I gone through this rib cage, this is why people usually go from here all the way down there, because they say, you know what, I'm not going to bother with that, because if you look over here, this is where the fillet was. There's not too much on there. So a lot of people will just leave it like that, but you know what, we're trying to get maximum yield, especially because it's a smaller fish. So we're going to set this fillet aside, and we're just going to do the exact same thing on the other side. Tip of our knife, and we're going to just outline, making sure we don't go through the backbone. Just go all the way down, and this is what a nice sharp knife will do. It just slides effortlessly. Now we can continue to do the same thing we did on the other side, just separating. One hand on the knife, and one hand using helping us tear away the meat. And black drum actually have some of the best looking meat for an inshore fish. So that's what I do with these drum, is I'll work on the fillet from the head down to the tail. Then we're going to do the same thing with the other one, with the other side, is we're going to go from the head now to the ventral fin down here. We're going to have to go break these pin bones and go just coast over that rib cage right there. Don't want to go through it because we're not going to keep it in our final product anyway, so you don't want to have to deal with it. And there you go. Two absolutely perfect black drum fillets. No meat missing on that fillet. As you guys see, that's what you ideally want your fillets to always look like. I should be able to run my knife along here and not miss any meat. And that's what a beautiful knife like this Dexter will do. Once you guys get to this point, you have two options. Drum, red drum, black drum, such as this fish right here, are very popular to cook on the half shell. And what that means is you would leave the skin and the scales on, and it's really popular to cook it on the grill, and it's kind of like its own little pan, nature's version of a little pan. Or you could go ahead and skin it like you would a normal fish. Okay, always when skinning fish, we start at the tail, work towards the head, And you basically just kind of angle your knife down slightly and just do a little seesaw in action, pulling the skin towards you as you go and pushing your knife away from you. And black drum are really easy to skin because they have such thick skin. I'm gonna go ahead and discard this. Not a very big bloodline, a great looking fillet. And the only thing you have left to do is to remove the pin bones, which generally run halfway from the head to the tail along the bloodline. So we go on both sides of the bloodline. One side, two sides, and then we make a little cut like this. The pin bones are in there, and that's all there is to it. There is your final finished product of a black drum. Now, if you guys are interested in the knife I used today, this was the 8-inch Dexter narrow fillet. Like I said, it will be linked in the description box below, as well as all the rest of our other Dexter knives. And that's all the time I got for you today. I'll see you in that next fillet video.